Good morning again. It's Kara Romanow back at the Consumer Goods Emerging Markets Forum. I'm here with Gopi Krishnan, who is the General Manager and Head of Strategy for Wipro, who flew in all the way from India to join us, so thank you.
Thank you, Kara.
You talked yesterday a lot about India. It really helped share some best practices, how to do business, some strategies. Can you give us just a sense of some of the highlights and some recommendations that you gave to the audience?
I think the best way to learn is from observing the success and the failure stories of other companies. I talked about P&G and Gillette yesterday. I talked about Kellogg's and their 20-year saga in India. I guess it's very important to respect your consumer, understand what needs to be localized without compromising on the quality and the brand image that you bring into the country as a multinational. And we had some great examples on that yesterday. But if there's one thing I'm going to talk about in a very critical fashion would be getting the right price points for the product. We talked about smaller SKU sizes, single sampling packs, whether it's soaps or beverages or shampoos, it doesn't matter. Getting the price points right is very important. And the consumer is always willing to try out. It's a very experimental consumer, it's a change-oriented consumer. It's just that you need to get the price points right and the product basket right.
What do you think the importance of events like this is? How big are the emerging markets as a potential for consumer goods manufacturers?
I'm not a big fan of BRIC as a combined entity. Each of those countries are so different and they have different growth rates, populations and so on, but having separate teams obviously makes sense. We even talked about Indonesia and Nigeria today as the next emerging country. So I guess the India focus theme was very interesting for me to share some experiences. The conversation has never been louder. The population is steadily increasing in terms of wealth, increasing in terms of size. India being a democracy, it's slightly easier to understand the rules and regulations out there. The government is now stable after a long time. So the convergence of multiple factors, and of course cable TV has changed the way the rural consumer perceives business. Smartphone penetration is second highest after China. 600 million people have phones. So it's a great time on convergence of a lot of focus areas, and a conference like this can definitely bring it up on the surface and bubble it up and have a lot of interesting exchanges. It was good to see a diverse set of audience yesterday at different levels of country entry strategies, talking about how their experiences have been, and I got to learn quite a bit of lessons too from them.
Good. And there was a lot of commonality between regions, between the different speakers. We heard a lot of best practices.
We talked about government relations, we talked about taxation, understanding the consumer, tailoring your product for a particular region. Those generic strategies are important. When you implement them, you need to make it more local.
Absolutely. Thanks very much.